Hey, what's up, guys? How we doing today? I want to make a real quick video. Before we get into it, I just want to stop and just say Happy Veterans Day. But what I want to talk about today is a little bit of the frustration in the market that can be building considering the price action of Bitcoin, specifically over the last couple weeks. But why this drawback is perfectly normal, and two, why patience pays off and being in the market at the right time is more important than anything. And I'm going to show you a few charts on why that is key. And then lastly, I've been making a lot of relations of this cycle to the 2019 cycle. And I want to show you guys a very, very cool chart that you're not going to want to miss on what happened in 2019 after the government opened back up. Stay tuned. It's going to be really cool. All right, guys, I'm going to get right into it. And a little bit of the frustration that's been happening with this market is it seems like we just can't hold on to any meaningful gains that we get. We're down almost 22% since the high on October 6th. And it seems like every time we make any sort of gain back up, it just gets shut right back down. We go up, right back down, up, right back down. And that's continued to happen over these last couple weeks here where we were flirting with this 50-week moving average. Now, we got the good news on Sunday that the government was going to open back up, which shot us back above this indicator and up to 107.5. But at this point, we've retraced almost all those gains. But I don't think it's all so bad because it seems like what we're doing right now is just retesting this 50 weekly moving average. And along the way, we also during this pump opened up a CME gap at around $104,000, which we have now closed, which is very important because typically they don't close now, they're going to close later. So rather have it just close now and get it done with. So if we can see some sort of support built here on the 50 weekly moving average, that could be very, very bullish going forward. And adding on to the frustration, I think what's really caused that is this market's been a lot of chop. We get a lot of chop and then we get a move up, a lot of chop and a move up. And I've noticed this over and over again, as you can see here, dating even back, starting back in April of 24, we had a whole lot of chop, then we get a big move up, and then we get a lot of chop, and then we get a move up, and chop and move up, chop, move up, chop, and move up. So this is going to change the way that I go about this market a little bit because now that I notice we're in another phase where we're chopping, I'm going to wait for that next move up if we can get some support here on the 50 weekly moving average. And if we get that move up, I'm going to go off the assumption that the market's acting the same way it has since mid 2024, and I'm going to take some profits off the table. And that's just my personal plan because if we end up getting that big move up, we might just enter another chop phase. And I would rather get some money off the table while I have the opportunity to do so. I have mentioned multiple times the relations between the 2019 pump that we had with the cycle that we're currently in right now. And a lot of that's because during that 2019 time, as you can see here, we were going through quantitative tightening too, and it was coming to an end as it is right now. But another really interesting thing that happened during that 2019 time is that the government shut down also during Trump's term. And that was now the second longest shutdown, but at the time it was the longest shutdown that had ever happened. And I just found this really cool post from Crypto Rover about what happened after the government opened during that 2019 period. And it says the US government could reopen at any moment now, which we now know it should be by the end of this week. And the last time this happened, Bitcoin pumped over 300%. And this is in the same 2019 period with the same quantitative tightening that we're currently going through right now. Now, am I sitting here saying this is absolutely going to follow pace and be the exact same thing and go up the exact same amount? No, I'm not saying that at all. This isn't financial advice, and please read the disclaimer down below. But there's a lot of correlations between the 2019 pump that we're seeing right here and the cycle we're going through right now. And I find it really interesting that the government shutdown had this much of an effect after it opened back up. And I'll be very curious considering all the catalysts that will happen once the government opens back up for us now. Like I've said over and over again, Government data will be released, and there's a lot of reports going out that the jobs data isn't as good as the ADP reports initially thought, and that could definitely lead to more worry from the Fed that the labor market's weakening, causing more interest rate cuts to happen. Quantitative tightening is ending. Clarity Act to be passed. Altcoin ETFs to be approved. There's a lot of things that could happen to give us some sort of run, not saying exactly like this, but it could line up in a very similar way. So this is another thing I'm going to keep track of, and I wanted to share with you guys going forward so you can keep it in your pocket too. But it's always important during these times to have patience and have a plan, and that's what I'm going to do, and I'll see you in the next one.